Scooty on the left, Sidnev on the right. Winner of this goes through to the grand finals. Countdown with me, Roncli, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris.
And Sidnev's ahead 1-0. Who saw that coming?
All right, yeah. So championship semifinals have now officially begun. First match of 2, Scooty and Sidnev. You would think that these two players would need no introduction, but of course, you know, in the interest of time, and as well, just in case, there might be someone here who's might be watching Tetris for the very first time. So we will, of course, give you a rundown and introduction to our two players, starting out, of course, on the left-hand side, rolling out of the United States, PB of 40.26 million, the highest score in classic Tetris history. A 5-time champion of the Classic Tetris League and has made the finals in each of the last 7 seasons. Has been outside of that championship throne for the past 2 seasons. Most recently lost in the finals to Alex T last season, but is hoping to try to make it now to his 8th consecutive finals. It's Blue Scooty. And his opponent from the Netherlands, PB of 8.52 million, 8th in the world in score. A multi-time playoff contender, but actually competing for the first time in CTL this season since season 26. This is the first time in the modern era of the Classic Tetris League where she's made the semifinals of a playoff bracket. Not her first time overall. There did make it back in season 18 to the semifinals, but we'll be hoping this time to go one step further and make her first finals. It is Sidnev. I have someone in chat saying, what does modern era mean? Season 18 onwards, because, of course, there's CTL history is kind of split into 2 halves, which is the Moodus era, which was anything before season 18, and the Kingsman era, which is anything after season 18, around midway through 2022. When CTL became under new management, the formats changed a little bit, the divisions changed a little bit. We went down from 9 divisions to 5. So that's what we mean when we say modern era and old era. Anyway, Scooty is currently in the lead, 257 to Sidnev's 237. So relatively close here in the opening.
Sidnev just had a really nice solve there with the Vits to get clean. Fortunately, the rest of the pieces didn't cooperate, but...
And yes, that was when... Sorry, that was when TMP was born. Yes, Taya.
.307 at the half for Scooty, 275 for Sidnev, so still pretty close. I wouldn't expect it to be any different until we hit that level 29 speed, and then all bets are off.
Yeah, exactly. Really close, and all of the underlying stats coming into this would indicate that this should be a pretty good test for our 5-time champion. They face each other 6 times before in ELO competition, and they have 3 wins apiece. Most recently, they did face off in the finals of last month's CTM Masters. Scooty did win that 3-0, so Sidnev is looking for some retribution, some redemption here in this match.
Yeah, well, we'll see as the speeds get faster what happens. Scooty was mentioning he's having a little bit of hand pain, so I hope that's not too much of a factor here, but you never know.
Yeah, it seems like it's so far so good from him, though. Still with a pretty good score, 425 at 414. Stack is a little bit unorthodox here, but Scooty should be able to get the well open. Still has a Tetris ready, but covers the well just as the bar comes, but still has that opportunity open. Sidnev could try and capitalize here, but Scooty will get it open quickly and gets a Tetris.
The lead now down to 5,000 points. We cross the 100-line turn, and Sidnev playing 1 row off the bottom, trying to stay efficient. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and just burn it down.
Scooty now with a much better looking board than we saw a few moments ago is set up for a Tetris here, and of course we'll get it down. Tetris both players is 500 to 509. We got about 15 to 20 lines to go before the level 19 transition. And so far it's seeming like smooth sailing for the most part. But things can change in an instant, even when you're at the top level, as both these players are. Sidnev was probably looking for the J there, but didn't quite get it, so we'll have to just take a few burns and resolve this board state. Scooty in a similar situation.
SC. Yeah, both players pretty high up here, and transition is right around the corner. Scooty's board's significantly better.
Yeah, Sidnev with a lot of holes up high does take a crucial... Absolutely crucial there. Scooty is back down to the bottom. 557 gets a Tetris 581. Sidnev in at 543. So less than 15k separating their transition scores here. And these are two players that rank very highly when it comes to their Fairmedian 19 transition. In their lifetime, they're both consistently in the top 15. In the last 3 months, same deal. Scooty with a slight edge on with a 578 median transition score to 567 for Sidnev.
And Sidnev was also #1 this season in that statistic at 592, beating out Alex T by a full 10,000.
Scooty on 662.
Nice Tetris. And Sidnev's finally got things cleaned up and is not down by that much, all things considered.
Tetris Scooty 717, Sidnev 641, so about a 2.5 Tetris lead here for Scooty.
Nice.
But some great play from both players here. Sidnev again with another Tetris, putting the pressure back on. Scooty's going for the column 9 Tetris here. It would be a perfect well transfer as well if the bar were to come at a good time, and it will. Tetris Scooty after that double 779 and back over to column 10. Tetris Sidnev 729.
Yeah, Scooty getting bailed there, getting the bar when he needed it. Sometimes when you build up in an odd column like that, you'll get caught. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen this time. Scooty is enjoying a bit of a lead.
Yeah, and has enjoyed that lead for a bit of a minute here in this game. But Sidnev, of course, not a player you'd expect to have Scooty extend this lead further. He's definitely going to keep the pressure on and has done so. Is 6 lines ahead, but has reduced the gap to just 8,000 points there briefly. It's 881 to 858. Tetris both players. Sidnev into 26 at 890.
Scooty is not going to be that far ahead if he gets the bar, and he does. So this is very close. This is like, I feel like I'm stating the obvious here. You could have said this when they were at 0 lines, but this is going to be decided on 29.
Tetris commentators stating the obvious. We would never.
Yes, never.
Nice, beautiful skim there with that J for Sidnev. And both players maxing out. It's 820 to 835. Sidnev has now taken the real-time lead, but Scooty is still comfortably ahead on pace. Going into that line deficit. Delayed fit setup. Scooty will take the Tetris first. Not going to end up going for it. We'll just tuck the square in, briefly creating a hole. Sidnev is into 29 first at BO7 and is setting up for another Tetris. Beautiful triple and a Tetris. Scooty still has 1 line to go. Takes the Tetris in at B34.
That sequence at the end of 28 there for Scooty, I think that allowed Sidnev to catch up a little bit.
Now that this is in 29, this just becomes 10 times more exciting, as these are two of the best players in the world at 29 stacking. They make 29 look like 19, but Scooty with a couple misdrops here. Sidnev, oh my goodness, that 5-tap from Sidnev. Can she manage to get column 3 open here? It would be crucial in unlocking this board. Good double, good flip of the T-piece last second. Needs a bar down, gets the bar down, column 3. It's B73 to
She's
C19.
gonna get this down.
And it looks like she gets the well open
my God.
in the bar for the Tetris.
Amazing. Sidnev in the lead, too.
Scooty C61 to C70, but Sidnev
Oh no.
gets the bar over left, but this board is so compromised here. Scooty takes the lead, and Sidnev is gonna top out at C82. Scooty
No.
probably got nervous there for a bit because of that dig from Sidnev, but Scooty will hold on and take game number 1. GG's.
Yeah, that was an amazing dig.
Just a taster of what we are going to expect here in these semifinals, not only from these two players, but our next two players as well that have a very similar skill set when it comes to getting out of crazy digs on 29. But
indeed,
really good game to open up our semifinals. Scooty, of course, will play it out.
Got 1.4 right now. He's got enough runway to roll this over if he...
Just a casual 30 there. And 3, 2, 1. Tetris.
Tetris. I have no idea how my timing. I hope it's pretty accurate.
About as good as you can get with Discord.
Yep. Yeah, Scooty taking game number 1. Getting it done on 29, but I tell you, that start of 29 from Sidnev makes me think that this series is far from over.
Yeah, coming into this match, I really did think that, excluding the two people who have already beat him in the finals, if anyone was going to deny Scooty of a 8th consecutive finals, Sidnev is definitely a candidate, because again, they have really similar skill sets, especially with their post transition play. Both so aggressive, almost perfect in terms of their choices and in terms of what they will stack, or when they decide to go aggressive, when they decide to go for a Tetris and just burn. I mean, Scooty, of course, with the world record score, 40 million, which requires a lot of play at that speed.
Indeed.
And also a lot of play back at a lower speed again, and then picking back up to the higher speed again.
But you know, we talked about these two being the two players that have, that have maxed out on 19 without burning a line. They're also 1 and 2. Sidnev, the higher score by less than 500 points, for the 39 line cap record. They both have 2,130,000. Sidnev's got 2,100, and Scooty's got 1,700.
Yeah, just absolutely
insane games.
Yeah. Read my mind. 194 for Scooty, 238 here for Sidnev. So Sidnev with a slightly stronger start here, but both still relatively close together.
Bit of an overshift there for Sidnev, and really needs a J or something here. He's not going to get it, so it's going to be a bit of a pain to try to get down. I think she's just going to play 3 rows up, though.
Also, another fun online fact, Scooty currently has the longest win streak in Classic Tetris in general. 21 matches without a loss. That is already the 7th highest in the history of the scene. Thank you so much. We got a $20 contribution to the prize pool from Talbot. Thank you so much, Talbot. Very much appreciate that. That brings us up to $263.43. If anyone else wants to help to contribute to the prize pool, you can go ahead and type in the command !Matt again, with that 20, we're up to 263, but we're still quite a bit short of our $1,000 goal that we'd like to hit. We've hit that in each of the last 10 seasons in a row, and we want to try to make that 11, of course, so that our players can walk away with a nice chunk of change at the end of each season, and so we can continue to attract at CTL the best of the best. And if we manage to hit $2,000 before the end of the season, we'll be able to pay out everyone who made the playoffs of the top 8. But currently, it'll be the top 4, so everyone who's made this semifinals, that will be paid out.
Yeah, I feel kind of hurt that we haven't gotten to that 1,000 yet, but we still have time. Still time to get there.
And it looks like chat's correcting you, Roncli, with the with that 39 line cap. Apparently, Sidnev does have a 2.153 million.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet that they're just behind on updating the sheet. It's marked as claimed, but if there's video proof, it should be not claimed.
Hold that thought. Both players were in a bit of a rough state there with their boards. Sidnev has gotten it mostly down, still has that bar dependency, does fill it in. Scooty was up quite high, and we got another contribution to the prize pool here. 41.56 overall. We got 36.56 from Avi and 5 from Stolen Short Sword, who says, hello, AdamIrish. Hi, Stolen Short Sword.
Hello, Triple S.
And that gets us up to over 300 into the prize pool. Thank you all so much for your support of these players and CTL in general. Tetris and another for Sidnev, 479, Scooty, 471. It is pretty much neck and neck.
Back-to-back jacks for Scooty and sets up a Vitz as well after a long drought. Bars are flowing now. 526 into 19 for Sidnev. Scooty's getting his board under control. There's the bar. He'll go in at 566.
So Scooty with the better transition score. Sidnev does have the real-time lead, but there is a line deficit of 6 in favor of Scooty, which would give Scooty the pace lead, and now has taken the real-time lead with a couple Tetrises to catch back up in lines. Sidnev with the Vitz to set up the Tetris, gets a bar, gets a Tetris, 608 to 621.
Another Vitz there for Sidnev this time. I'm seeing a lot of them for both players.
Yeah, a lot of time, especially with these two players, they will Vitz quite frequently, which, of course, a lot of players will just do it in terms of getting their boards. But you can see that a lot of time, the players will set up the Vitz, and it will be oftentimes to set up a Tetris, but it does also greatly improve the overall board state as well, and can potentially set up some really good opportunities as well. It's 731 now for Scooty, 773 for Sidnev. But those are the best kind of Vitzes, when the Vitzes have an actual purpose, when the Vitzes really do generally improve the state and really give the player really good opportunities with their stack. But Vitzes are always cool. They're always cool.
Yeah, there's some that believe there's not a bad Vitz, and I guess if you're talking aesthetically, right.
Couple delayed burns here from Sidnev, looking for a J piece. Gets a J piece. It's 855 to 869 for Sidnev. And she'll get another Tetris up to 900k on level 25.
Yeah, this isn't quite the lead that Scooty had last time. But boy, is Scooty stacking very well right now.
Tetris both players again. It's 951 to 998. Sidnev looking for the max into 27 here. We'll skim and get a Tetris max out into 27. 832 to 984. Scooty gets the max out just before 27. A16, so ever so slightly ahead in pace here.
About half a Tetris pace lead for Scooty, which is, at this level, not much.
And once again, it looks like it's going to come down to just who is going to be more efficient, who's going to be the one who takes that chance on level 29 speeds, who might get that Tetris that pushes them over the edge for game 2 here. They're both a Tetris or 2 away. Sidnev goes in first at B71, immediately gets a Tetris to go up to 1.2. Scooty's looking for a 1.2 into here.
Yeah. Just needs the bar.
Good double there from Sidnev Scooty, and it's C24. Tetris Sidnev still has the real-time lead at C88, but Scooty, again, probably still has the pace lead here, owing to that 13 line deficit, but Scooty with the well-covered, and doesn't get the bar over, and Scooty is going to top out at C30, and Sidnev We'll take game 2. We have a tied set, folks. It's 1-1.
Yes, we indeed have a series. And I tell you something, my very first CTWC that I attended in person was the last one in Portland, and remember the semifinal from that season, from that year?
Mm-hmm.
It was these two when Sidnev made it to the finals, defeating Scooty 3-1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. What's PRG? The Portland Retro Gaming Expo. It used to be the gaming convention that would host the Classic Tetris World Championship. The C2WC would be a part of the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Truly a legendary event in the Classic Tetris. Just the history of the scene.
And now the Jonas Cup.
Yep. So yeah, the PRG still lives on in the world of C2WC with the Jonas Cup, which is the DAS exclusive tournament that's hosted every year in memory of Jonas Neubauer. That reminds me that I need to go at some point. Probably not this year, but 2027 I'm aiming for it.
So then we'll get the right side open. We'll find a Tetris, but little shaky to start game number 3. Scooty with about a Tetris and a half lead.
Yeah, 118 to 80,000 here. A bit of a slower start than we've seen from Sidnev here, but has the entire rest of level 18 to make up for that. It's still only down by about 40,000 points, but if you're conceding a more than a Tetris or so lead early on, that can definitely set the tone for a rest of a game, even though, of course, as volatile as Classic Tetris can be, when you're at this level and results can come down to the finest of margins, as we've seen in both of these games so far, you really never know. Especially with these two being as almost robotic in efficiency as they have been for so long now.
Yeah, they certainly have. I feel like they've just gotten better since their semifinal clash.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little spin tuck there for Scooty.
And is going to set up the column 9 and gets the bar. Perfect pieces there. And placements. Tetris for Scooty. 258 to 240.
Scooty highly dependent here. This is not going to resolve cleanly. Not right away.
And
probably just stuck going for a Tetris.
Yeah, kind of forced into a, but that S piece. It looks like it's a rough sequence for both players, and Scooty is in some trouble here. And that left side isn't going to be open here for a while because of the amount of holes that are in the stack right now. Sidnev has now taken the lead. It's 291, but Scooty should be able to bring this down, but this is good news if you're Sidnev because so much opportunity now to get some Tetrises and build up a big lead over Scooty.
Yeah, Scooty does have a dirty Tetris set up once he clears the holes over column 1. But he's still getting some really nasty pieces, although that solve was great. 2 squares in the T.
And gets the board down, avoiding a scare there. He is human, folks. He is human.
Occasionally.
Okay, yeah. Sometimes the programming will get extra human. Ooh, Sidnev with a really aggressive bar there.
Yeah.
Sets a beautiful adjustment of that S piece. And is going to commit. Going to commit to this dirty setup here. Gets another. I think going to keep doing this until that, well, gets back open. Really like that adjustment with the I and the J piece there to resolve that so cleanly and making sure the stack still stays just pristine here for Sidnev.
Yeah, and that kind of play is classic Sidnev, where you know you're not going to get back to a right column anytime soon. Most of us would just sit there burning lines to get the right side open. She sets up Tetris to get open.
Exactly.
Nice SC query on there.
And gets the well open just in time. Tetris Sidnev 448 now. Scooty on 410. So about a 2.5 Tetris lead. We got another contribution to the prize pool to bring us up to 350. Thank you so much, Summer B, for the $45.01, saying CTL hype. Indeed.
And it looks like Sidnev's going to have the lead going into 19 here. Although this stack is starting to look a little concerning.
I mean, again, it's a stack that we've seen Sidenev do before, and oftentimes it works out for it, but it doesn't look like it's going to quite be as clean as it could be this time. 529 to 523 transition, so practically even going into level 19 here, but Scooty definitely with the better board of the two, but good triple there from Sidnev and a double. Beautiful solve, just 3 moves. All that was needed there. Definitely a board that looked worse than it was, but still a fantastic solve. And I really like that SZ adjustment there from Sidnev too. It's aggressive, but now needs a bar. Okay, gonna take a couple burns to get rid of the long bar dependency, but comes back into the fold. Good triple though. Scooty will capitalize, now has a 45,000 point lead.
Sidnev gets rough pieces there, but works her way out of it very quickly. Tetris and a half lead for Scooty.
Sort of be saying in chat, I hope that went through because I did the payment and the match unit said your account has been banned for potential PayPal fraud.
I'm sorry, what?
I mean, Peek just sums it up. Thank you for committing fraud in support of CTL.
Yes. That is what I like to call Peekayric there.
Yeah. Scooty 762, Sidnev 723. Really like these placements from Sidnev again, setting up the potential square tuck here. Doesn't quite get it though. Okay. Has to put the Z in. Gonna just take a few burns here to resolve the stack, but this is good news again if you're Scooty and potentially extend out this lead further. And even with just small digs like these from Sidnev, Tetris is now worth in excess of 30,000 points. So even just a short 10-second dig, it could potentially give your opponent 2, maybe 3 Tetrises more to work with. And that's exactly what Scooty has done now with almost a 130,000 point lead over Sidnev here.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Sidnev did a whole lot wrong. It's just Scooty capitalizing on those little moments where Sidnev's not being quite as efficient.
Yeah, and exactly what I said at the beginning of this particular game. It's the finest of margins at this level. Potentially a second longer digging than your opponent, and that could be all the difference between one game and the next. But Sidnev has caught up here.
Tuck there. About to get into max out range.
And Scooty will get it into 28. A30, Sidnev 961. Sidnev has to make a hole there in the stack. Takes a good double. Another would have gotten that hole out of the stack, but we'll have to just settle for trying to set up for a Tetris. We'll get the Tetris. Max out for Sidnev on line 227. Scooty and Sidnev both going in. A78 to A11.
Did you see that?
Oh my goodness me.
The first piece into 29. She pulls off that spin. That was incredible.
And especially you have to consider the timing as well. With the speed change as well. Like, that just makes it 10 times more difficult than when you're already established in those speeds. Insane. Scooty on CO2. Sidnev, BO3 gets a column 8 Tetris. Looking to set up for another one again here. Gets another. It's B82. Sidnev is catching up. Scooty with a skim and a Tetris here. Beautiful L-tuck and spin there. Sidnev skimming a Tetris as well. C25 to C90. Scooty looking to try to get the well open here. Does do so. Both players set up for a Tetris. Managing this board well. Sidnev is going up a bit higher, but gets a Tetris anyway. C71. Scooty up to 1.3 million. Tetris again for Sidnev, also up to 1.3. There's 500 points in it.
300 now.
Tetris for Scooty. Sidnev also looking for a Tetris here. Beautiful S and T placements here. But the board is creeping up for Sidnev. Needs to get that well open, but doesn't get the piece in time. Sidnev needed an S or a T, got neither. Tops out at D57, and Scooty on E58 will take game 3 and now moves to match point.
That Z was the absolute, like, where do you even put that? There's nowhere for it to go.
There's nowhere that could have possibly gone that would have been able to resolve the board cleanly, or at the very least would not have allowed the board a lot of breathing room to get an eventual S or a T over there. Super unfortunate there for Sidnev, and of course she will justifiably take a minute here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Ooh, Sidnev with the unorthodox opening there with that square piece.
What happened was that she was going to try to do the same thing as Scooty did, but early shifted the...
Yeah.
But no harm, no foul. Right back up after 5 lines.
Ooh, that was a misdrop with a T piece there. Okay, it should be fine. Still can get this Tetris here. But that's just what you got to do. You got to just... Any sort of... This is probably an interpretation of an old Jodas code. Like, any mistake you make, you just got to really just dust it off and just keep going. You just got to make sure you don't react too much to it, because you only have a split second to react, and if you react harshly, then it could really just snowball into sort of a chain reaction kind of thing. Like, any sort of stacking mistake you make, I mean, that's just part of Tetris. And our objective as players is just to correct those mistakes as best as possible. Beautiful spin tuck there from Sidnev. That is definitely one way to react to a bit of a rough start here. Just get that T piece in there. Screw you, game.
I was making a statement there. Fortunately,
I could just sense the
making a bigger statement.
Just the contempt in that piece, in that spin tuck.
Another Tetris there.
And Sharky saying, as expected.
Yes, as expected. 2.5 Tetris lead for Scooty here in game 4.
And boards are now nice and clean. We are up $100 on the prize pool since we began the stream, currently on $350. We're well on our way to our minimum goal of $1,000 that we have hit in each of the last 10 seasons. We are looking to, of course, make that 11. The prize pool, all of it will be going towards our players, to specifically the top 4 in the playoffs. But if by the end of the season we can get to $2,000, we will be able to pay out not only the top 4, but the top 8 as well. So everyone who made the playoffs would get a piece of the prize pool. And if you want to contribute, all you got to do is use the command !Matcherino in the chat, and you can contribute there. That's all you got to do. Even as little as $1 into the prize pool will mean the world to these players and to CTL as well.
Yes, and Tayo in chat saying if we reach $500 by the end of the stream, we'll reach $500 by the end of the stream. Thank you very much for that insight.
And if that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will.
Sidenev has caught up by about a Tetris here, so playing quite efficient to keep up with Scuti. And these scores are something too.
Yeah, 437 to 400, 80-something lines in. You can see the Tetris rates, of course, on the bottom of the screen, just showing how efficient the players have been. Scooty at a 94%. There is a lot said about Tetris rates, but it is a really good market to just see sort of how efficient and how many, not exactly how many burns, but just the amount of burning that they've done. And you can see kind of sort of the marks of that rough start from Sidnev with the 82, but since then she's been playing pretty much flawlessly.
Yeah, and if I'm Scooty, that's kind of that kind of tells me now I can't make mistakes, right?
Ooh, L and Z, a bit awkward there for Sidnev. And shouldn't be that much. That's an aggressive bar placement, though. We'll get the T and Z over.
Oh, no. What are these pieces?
Yeah, these pieces not really working out the best for Sidnev. We'll get a bar over, but it will only burn a single. Getting that left side open again is going to be crucial, and that triple will definitely get her a good bit of the way there.
They saw that reaction, too. Like, of course she's not happy with pieces. They were terrible. But look at this. We're at 111 lines, and Scooty has a 598. This could be a 700.
Yeah, still has 15 lines to go, so still 4 Tetrises in the chamber. This is on for about a 710 if Scooty can get these remaining Tetrises.
Got that bar dependency on the left, though, so I would expect to see some things here.
Yeah, gonna take the double. Not gonna go insanely risky here, especially this close to 19. Gets a Tetris 650, so we'll be just short, but still gonna be an excellent transition here from Scooty. Sidnev goes in at 580 and 674 for Scooty.
Oof. Hot hand right now. And look at this aggression from Scooty. 2 rows up, going for the left well.
Yeah, not taking any chances here.
Sidnev keeps firing back. Bar dependency of her own, but that filled in, but not before blocking the well with that square. This board's starting to cause some problems.
Good double there where that J piece gets the hole open with that single, taking a delayed burn. Beautiful solve. Scooty with a Tetris up to 830 on level 21 here. Sidnev on 694. $832 into 22 here for Scooty. This is solidly 1.3 into pace.
Tetris for Sidnev, though. Sidnev not out of this yet.
And that is a really good aggressive T placement there as well, making sure to take as little burns as possible, because again, every burn will count towards the end. Tayo says
is just playing clean.
Tayo says if he wins, I want him on to 39. We want him to be fit for the finals, Tayo, if he gets there.
I want him all into 39.
That's probably what Alex or Sam is saying.
Yes.
Max out in 24.
He's got the max out on 24. Oh my god.
And Sidnev currently is on course for only a max in 26.
Only.
And I think chat's calling a bit of cap on the whole hand injury thing. Can't blame him. Oh, Sidnev not going for the flip T there, so we'll have to take a couple extra burns. Is up high. Dealing with it fine. Gets the bar, gets a Tetris.
That was some nice aggression there from Sidnev.
Yeah, you see that kind of move, especially from a player like Sidnev, hundreds of times before in terms of how high she was on 19. It still doesn't get rid of just the anxiety of seeing that.
Scooty is 3 off, but maybe even 2 off from a 1.3. And now 1.
1.3 into 28.
Into 28! What is this game?
It's still got about 70,000 points here. Okay, now about 35. So this could be about a D40 into. Sidnev is into 29, B72. 5 Tetrises back is Sidnev. She is going to really need to turn on the accelerator here as Scooty not relenting, but a couple misdrops here at those S pieces, trying to get it over to the left-hand side, but missed both. But beautiful 5 tap to bring the board down. But this could be Sidnev's opportunity here. Scooty won't be Tetris ready for a little bit. It's E31 to C36, but Sidnev with a misflip of the J piece. Her board is starting to fall into a little bit of issue. Needs a bar in column.
Oh my God.
And needs it now. Needs that bar. Where's the bar? There's no bar coming down. And Sidnev is going to be done at C43. Scooty with an E52 is going to be good. And Scooty advances to his 8th, I'll say it again, his 8th consecutive CTL finals.
And that is just absolutely insane to think about. The consistency that he has had over what now, 2 years of CTL play?
2 years.
It's insane to see.
We'll see if he's able to get this rollover. Should be able to.
There it is.
And I think he's given the people what they want. They want to see the Mullen to 39. And another Tetris. One away from 1.7. Gets 1.7 into 37.
5 more to go with 3 burns.
Still on course for a 1.9, I think. Yes, it is.
Okay, 3 more Tetrises. Gonna need some help from RNG here.
Has to burn. Still definitely on for a mid to high 1.8 though.
Surely.
Oh no! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh wow! 1.88.
Oh my God!
With a little helping hand from the bar RNG there. Scooty with an insane score into. And of course, will be your winner to advance to the final 2 for the 8th time. Still very few that can stop him. Blue Scooty, he wants number 6.
And I tell you what, he is pumped right now. He is absolutely excited.
Championship playoffs. Who will get to face off against Blue Scooty? Best of luck to both players. We're going to count them down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. So away we go, everyone. Championship quarterfinals, 4th match. Seed 4 Sidnev versus Seed 5 Cobra. Really excited for this one. Finally glad to get this one in the books, as it's going to mean that now we can start scheduling in our season finale after this one completes. But anyway, with that being said, and with everything out of the way, we'll go ahead and introduce. You know, these are 2 players that hardly need an introduction, but just more so give context. And in case this is your first time watching, introduce you to our 2 players here, starting out on the left-hand side, rolling out of the Netherlands with a PB of 8.52 million points, which is the 8th highest personal best in the history of Classic Tetris. This season marks her return to the Classic Tetris League for the first time since season 26, and she's hit the ground running, making it to the championship playoffs once again for the third time in the modern era of CTL. Has yet to make it past the quarterfinals in the modern era of CTL, but we'll be hoping that this time will be her first. It is Sidnev. And her opponent out of the United States of America with an NTSC PB of 5.28 million, which is 21st all time. A relatively greener player when it comes to the world of Division 1 play, has been up here since getting promoted up in season 25, so about a little under 2 years ago. Made it to the semi-finals of the championships last season, going out to eventual runner-up Blue Scooty. It is Cobra. And currently, it is Cobra with an hour lead at 239 to Sidnev's 235. This is a particular matchup with a lot of recent history behind it. These two were in the same division this season, that being Division 1B. Sidnev finished in second place. Cobra finished in third, which is why they're seed 4 and 5 accordingly, because they got 28 and 22 points, which were the 4th and 5th highest scoring in the divisions. When they faced off against each other, it was Sidnev who came out on top by a score of 3-1. So Cobra will be hoping for revenge here today. And actually, of the two players, it has been Cobra who's had the upper hand in the head-to-head record. 4 matches played. Cobra has won 3 of them. The match in Season 32 was Sidnev's first win against Cobra. 375 for Sidnev, 308 for Cobra, as we're about just over halfway through level 18. It's the 3rd time they're facing off in Classic Tetris League action. The first time was in Season 26, which was Cobra's first campaign in Division 1. Cobra won in a decider by 3 games to 2. Tetris Cobra, 376. Nice clean play from both players so far. But it's Sidnev now with almost a, just over a 4 Tetris lead here. Tetris Cobra, though, to bring it down for now, but Sidnev will respond right back. You love Sprint Break? Well, come to think of it, I don't, the title says SV Lapis, not Cobra versus Sidnev. Yeah, Kingsman forgot to do that, I guess. I don't have login to the YouTube, so I can't really change that from my end. King? I changed it on Twitch, but it's not on the YouTube. Sorry, YouTube folks. $584 for Sidnev, $492 for Cobra. But yes, I guess that's a good way to also say that. We're also live over on YouTube. So, hi, YouTube people. Hope you're all doing well. I'm sure King will get the title fixed for you guys. And if you're on Twitch and not aware of our YouTube, you should be, because that's where all of our highlights go. Shout out to Peekayric for doing an amazing job editing together all the best bits from every season. You can check it out at youtube.com/Classic Tetris League. Sidnev with a nice J-tuck there. Does have a bar dependency in column 3. Gonna try and build up here. Looking for the right combo of pieces. Gets a dirty column 3. Tetris goes in at 658. Cobra 545. Unsubscribed reported for clickbait. Darn. Can't believe it. $735 for Sidnev, $624 for Cobra. Nice skim here from Sidnev. She'll get a Tetris. Maintaining excellent efficiency here. Every quote-unquote dig she's been in has only lasted a few lines or so. She's a player that has regularly won so many accolades in the Classic Tetris League for her stacking, whether it's most aggressive, most creative. You name it, in terms of stacking, she has won it. Kind of a pioneer of the really aggressive, adjustment-heavy stacking that we can see from a lot of players who have taken inspiration directly from her. 938 here on level 24 for Sidnev. 778. I think the cam might be frozen. Let's just ignore that, Guafi. I was trying not to draw attention to it. Sidnev's on 968, looking for a max out in 25 here. We'll be just... Actually, yeah, we'll be... Oh, actually, could get it into 25 here now with that burn. And we'll do so. Max out for Sidnev into 25. Cobra on 839, still doing excellently on pace, but Sidnev has just been in another league here in game one.